Okay, still on this kind of obsessive graph issue. In the last video, I had a very general discussion about setting up the F11 using the index, and showing you the spreadsheet structure. I hope some people, I remember somebody said, when it's an expensive consultant, what the basic thing you do is turn off the grid lines. What a ridiculous thing. Now we're going to show you a little bit how to construct some different timelines. We'll use the SUMIF function and choose whether we want to make it monthly, quarterly, annual. We'll kind of put the fixed, once we've chosen whether we use it monthly, quarterly, annual from the SUMIF function, choose function, then we'll put it together and use the index function just to figure out which one we've taken, kind of like we use the index function up here to find the complex. And then we'll use an NA method at first to get the graph flexible with flexible timings. Now, I'll also discuss the advantages, big disadvantage, which is just the complex of using an offset function, but it's probably best to use an offset function in this case. I'll show you little differences in why. So once again, the idea here is to make our analysis go to annually, quarterly. Maybe if it's quarterly, we like the bar better. At least don't show the stuff on the second scale. Or maybe if it's let's see, it's quarterly. I don't think the area is going to work very well, but good try it. Okay, maybe like line better. Maybe we should take one of these different complexes that has some data. Probably big and no data. Okay. It shows you the forecasting. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of silly. Let's go through. This is an example of some kind of forecast by my question. Okay, and why you want history next to a forecast. What happened here? It's down, going down. This is why the production is going up. Maybe this is reasonable, but by showing the history together with the forecast, at least you can quickly look and see you've got some kind of ridiculous forecasts. Okay, maybe there's a good explanation. I don't know about this too. Okay, I'm going to go all the way. I'm wasting too much of your time just showing you how to click on a drop-down box. Alright, so that now we're going to work through and show you kind of that time. I started with a date, and I think you can use the start date or the end date. It turns out that the data itself, this data I had a little bit of a problem with even, but this data had a end of the month. Notice I had to actually take I used the EO month function. A little problem, but I seem to not be able to get out of my mouth. I have to repeat things. Okay. And then put the beginning of the month too. Why I really need this one. I hope that this one has the same effect as the other. Alright, and then we can use the year function, of course, without the end of the month. That doesn't matter. But we can also take that and use the end of quarter function. There's no end of quarter function in Excel. So if you make this function, I put end quarter. This is a macro, and it just says, well, find go and get the date, find the month. If it's 1, 4, 7, or 10, January, April, so the first block, then the end of the quarter is 2 months afterwards. If it's February, May, August, or September, then the end of the quarter is just the next month. If it's March, June, or September, then the end of the quarter is the same month. The end of the quarter is defined here. That's the name of the function, and we make a little end of quarter function. You take the end of the quarter function, okay, and now what we do is after we have the reserve data, which was described, this is just an index function from the last video. Then if it's monthly, you take the same ones. So I just took this one. This came from the very top. Okay. And then we just take the monthly ones and get that analysis. If it's annual, we do the same thing. We just take the first, just get the scale, and then you can put the date on. And this is an idea, especially if you want to use the NA function. Okay, then this date, I just said take the date and take the year and make it 12/31. I think that's normally the last day of the year. And then we just sum. And the way we use the SUMIF is we look up on this one, this value, sum it across, and then line 14 is the date, is that stuff to sum. Okay? And then we do the same thing for all the others. So these are just all SUMIFs. All SUMIFs, and then we do the same thing here. We said, okay, excuse me, this is the annual, monthly, and it's probably should split this by reason to keep it all on the same line. So this is just the quarterly date, and then we just do exactly the same SUMIF, but this time this is the end of the quarter, and you compare that to this quarter here. Now, on both of these dates, one thing I didn't really tell you is that I made this end year rather. So remember, if we change the graph, we want to change that. So when we excuse me for this. So when we change this is our raw data, and we change it, we want to limit the end point of the graph after we put the beginning one. I used the range thing. I don't know if I like that or not. If it's less than n month, then just take it. Otherwise, put an NA. And remember, by putting an NA, you'll avoid you'll be able to change the scale. So again, this is the date function, and I use this up here. So I put an end here. This was an end if the year is greater than the year. And do that so if you go across here, eventually we'd have nothing to graph, and we just have NAs on the x-axis. Okay, now once we have that, we go to the we make it simply add kind of 3 things here, and then put our index from those 3 there. So we have 1, 2, 3, which we'll use on the graph. We'll just, of course, copy that to the graph, and then we finally have all of this data arranged by according to that little index thing. So, maybe no range name policy for I don't know, periodic. So that should be 3. Alright, and we go down and get our periodic thing here. Just choose really would be here. We just could put periodic like that. Sure. Okay. I don't have that generic macros open. Okay, so that's how we choose the different items now. Let's just kind of finish this. So if you would put this on a graph, the nice thing is, I guess, let's just make sure that this axis is a date axis. Okay. There was no error. I thought it was an error. That's just because the actual numbers were 0. Just copy this. And where did the graph go? Put our little thing for monthly. Quarterly, we'll give a different date. Annually, we'll give a different one now. Here's what I don't like about this. Notice how it puts the spaces here, and it's almost got to put the spaces here. You can, if you struggle with this, you could go and for the annual data, you can say, for annual data, we want it every 12 months. Okay, whoops, that didn't. I'm gonna leave it like this. This would be months. Okay. 12 months. Okay, but it still doesn't look very good. And that's the real reason for using the offset function. So how about this? I'm just going to explain the offset function a little bit. Okay, and this is what you do is you define a flexible range name, including the x-axis. And all of these now are flexible range names. And the width here, this width depends on the width is how long the axis is. That depends on whether you have quarters, months, years. Now, what I did is just took the difference. So we took the difference in days. That's how we get the months. Then we can take that divided by 4 to get the quarters, and then this divided by 12 to get the years. Okay, so in this case we have years. Let's put that. Let's copy the little spinner box there. Okay. Now, if we make this monthly, we just have a longer period. Then if you press Control F3, let's just look at that. How about we look at the x-axis first? That's the offset function. I start with F60, that's this one, and then we go 0 down, 0 across. But if you notice, can I show you this? And the very last one here is the width. It goes across from 100 to, okay. Looked at the gas price of gas. Sorry, what it does is it shows you the selection. Okay, now if you use this one, what you do is you right click and then on the select data for the for the x-axis, first just click on this. It's kind of a pain, I know. I just go x-axis like this. And then you can do the same for the oil production. Okay, be careful, just do it for the value. Okay, let's just for now remove. Okay. Now once we've done that one, now because we've put the flexibility into the offset function, then we can make this quarterly or annual, and we still should this time That's the axis. Let's make sure it's tick marks. The blade we don't need this. Let's just put it automatic. Okay, so again, remember we purposely did this thing. Okay, let's, where we go too far, remember we can adjust the length. Excuse me, pushing it around a little bit, but this is this year. We can put a different year in. Let's just call this thing. Oops. Oh, come on. Okay. And if we wanted to change our title, we put just an end here. Okay, so put a different end here. And we can let that do our kind of analysis. So that's our method to output this as our timing graph. So you can look at all of these on the website. Okay. I'll finish playing.